Herb Dean, one of the best referees, or some people say the best referee in the world. Why they call you the best or one of the best?
I don't know why people would say that. I do know a few things. I have refereed a lot of fights. I've refereed more of these types of fights than anyone else that I know of. And, I just really try to do the best job I can. Whether people say I'm the best at it or not, there is one thing that this is a very fun job, but it's also a very special job. It's a very important job. And I take my duties inside that cage as sacred. It's almost like my religion. I have people's dreams and hopes and everything they sacrifice for that I'm balancing with their safety. And I'm here, and that's what I'm here to do, make those decisions.
I gotta say, I was surprised. You came to Poland, to KSW. I had no idea how, when, where. How did it happen?
Well, I've always wanted to come to Poland. I definitely always, I have some friends from Poland in the United States, and they're really nice people. So I've always wanted to come here. I've seen the show KSW. It's the premier show in the region. It's also they put a lot of production into the production. Kind of like in the spirit of pride, and I like that. And so
you heard about KSW before?
Oh yeah, I'd heard of KSW. Everybody says that it's a good organization. So that's what I like to do. I like travel around and get to do fights all over the world. It's great.
And just to make sure, you will be the referee only for the Mameda Khalidova versus Michael Falcao fight?
I believe there may be another fight I'll be doing. I'll be doing more than one fight. I'm just not sure exactly which fights.
Do you need to inform Nevada State Athletic Commission before you came here? Do you need to inform them?
No. At one time there was something where guys were thinking it should be that way, but no, I'm an independent contractor and I just go where I go.
I had this pleasure speaking to Big John McCarthy before because he was also in Poland. And is there any problem with judging, with scoring? Because Dana White obviously is so vocal about it. So what's your opinion?
Well, I think that the sport has grown. I think that we have a system. They're all systems as they are, and I think that everything should always be reviewed and always trying to get the best thing for these athletes. The system that we have, the thing that my problem with the system we have is I don't think there's a few problems. I think first of all, the 10-9 round. That round can represent a lot. That score can represent a lot of different amounts of work. I could barely beat you. Just one jab is the difference. One jab is the difference between me beating you. Or I could solidly beat you on every exchange. Or I could dominate you, but not to the point of a 10-8. That score is still going to be 10-9. And I think that...
So what's your solution?
Well, I don't have a solution. I have there's a lot of solutions that are being proposed, and I'm in that conversation. And but what I don't do, I'm not going to step out and decide that I have a solution all on my own. I think the sport is bigger than me and bigger than just my opinion. So, I continue to work with other people and try to come up with something that and that we think may reflect that and get better scores for these athletes. That's all we're trying to do. Also, at the same time, the 10-9, the 10-point system is what we have, and that's what we're going to continue to work with until maybe we'll test other systems alongside it. A couple of years ago, they had the mass system with a half point and with a table judge, and some of the elements of that were great. Some of the things worked, some didn't. There's a couple of other alternate scoring systems that people have been suggesting. I like some parts of them, some parts I don't like, but we'll see.
And because Dana is so passionate about it, but do you think those changes, which are obviously they must happen, do you think it takes too much time, or it's just a regular thing in case like this?
No, I don't think it takes too much time.
I'm speaking about many things like TRT, like scoring,
okay, well,
different things.
TRT is not on my table. That's not anything I have any decision about. So things that aren't my decision, I don't really talk about it. I'm not going to talk about other people's decisions. I don't make the decision about the scoring system, but I am in that conversation. I am one of the trainers that the ABC, the large body they use to train other judges and referees. So I get to talk about it a little bit. So there's that, and then there's also, we want to make sure that with I do a course. I think it's very important to make sure that the officials understand the sport, the judges and referees, because you have this sport is complex, and there's a lot of moves a lot of the techniques are counterintuitive, and if you're not don't understand them on a detailed level, the detailed level that it takes to apply it when someone's not being willing, then you're going to have a hard time evaluating what's going on inside there.
And speaking about details, I talked to one of the judges in the past, and he told me that being a fighter not always helps being a coach. I don't agree with it, and you have the fighting experience, so how much does it help you?
I think, first of all, you need to understand the technique, so you need to train to understand it, but also to make your decisions, if you're gonna stop a fight, you have to understand what somebody's doing if it's not making sense. So you have to know what's going to make sense, and sometimes, like I said, that's counterintuitive. The other day I did my referee course. I do every year on the first weekend of May, and I have people from all over the world come and do the course. It's a lot of fun. And afterwards, what we do is we do a shadow event. They get licensed to do an amateur event in California, and one of the guys was some heavyweights were fighting. The guy was taking some shots, and then the referee finally stopped it, but he let him work through his process. The guy who's running the event, the inspector, he comes and goes, I don't know, was that too long? I go, well, I don't think it was too long, because he was always looking at his hips. When he continued to build base with his hips, he continued to build base. Then when he stopped building base, the guy stopped it. I thought that was a good stop. The experience that referee was a fighter, and so he knows, hey, don't focus so much on what's going on up here. I'm going to get information from his body. Is he continuing to build base? Because that's the first thing he needs to do in this situation. And so I think that, a fighter knows what to look for.
Have you seen the fight from UK? It happened like days or a few weeks before. One of the fighters he knocked out his opponent, but he couldn't stop. So the referee he choked him out.
Okay, I saw it, but I don't think the referee choked him out. I mean, saw him take back control.
Yes,
he took back control.
I think he was choking him, and then he stopped.
What I watched, I saw him take his back. I saw a seatbelt position.
Yes, for sure.
And then, but no choke.
You think was it a good decision?
And I saw,
Was it a good decision to
take control of the situation? I think that sometimes it doesn't happen as much because and when our sport was young, always every fight, every match, sometime that night you're going to have to give someone a little help to come back, a little bit of help to get out of that space, And I think, your job is when that guy can no longer protect himself, your job is to do whatever you can to protect that athlete who can no longer defend himself. And I think it was a good decision for him to do that. I think that he let him go once he was no longer combative. It wasn't that he was trying to enforce his will on him. He's like, look, I got to get this guy to stop. I got to hold on to him until he's under control. Once the guy seemed under control to him, he instantly let him go. So I've seen other times where guys get really aggressive, referees get really aggressive, and that's not what you're here to do. You're not here to get aggressive. You're here to just be a part of, not be there once you're needed. But I don't think it was I don't think it was done in a bad way. A lot of times, guys are making bad decisions, and you got to give them that little break, that little space, to say, okay, let me think about what I'm doing, or the frame of mind that you have to get into to have an MMA fight. You're going to go and take another man's will from him in front of his family, in front of the whole world on television. You got to get your mind in a certain place, and sometimes it takes a few seconds to get it back from there.
KSW for many years was about the white ring, right? Now it's a cage. Do you think it's a good decision? And is there any? Is it like that cage is really safer for the fighter?
I think that definitely the cage is safer. The cage is a lot more of a consistent environment. As a referee, it's a lot. I mean, when I'm going to referee in a ring, I'm just like, there's a lot of. Anytime I try to interfere as little as possible. So when I'm refereeing in the ring, I always have to make sure I'm holding on the ropes, making sure that the athletes are staying within. I always have to do restarts. I have to do repositions. I have to make the decision: are they too far out of the cage to let the action continue, or should I stop it and bring him back in? Do I keep him in the same position? That little tempo, that interruption in tempo, can change a fight. And so I think that as little involvement from me as possible is the best thing.
And KSW decided to do the round cage, not the octagon one, probably because they didn't want to give the credit to. That's my opinion, and many people, that they didn't want to give the credit to UFC maybe, and they decided to do the round cage. Is there a difference between octagon and the round cage?
I mean, it's a little bit of a difference of a round cage, flat cage, but the cage is the best. As long as they're inside of a good cage, a good sturdy cage, the athletes can't fall through the ropes. That's always a good thing.
Thank you very much. I hope you will like your staying here in Poland, and good luck in your fights.
Well, you can
refereeing the fights.
know sure that I already am enjoying my stay in Poland. I got here yesterday, and I got to see a lot of sights already, and. You know, I was hanging out in Warsaw and walked around the city. It was nice, beautiful, you know, lots of history. And then took a run on the beach this morning and through the forest. Beautiful.
Just to get rid of the bad water, like Nick Diaz.
Yeah, exactly. Like Nick Diaz. I don't know.
No, he was talking about it. Every time he travels, he goes to train to get rid of, you know, everything bad, the toxins from his body. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Thank you very much once more.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.